Alright guys, we're about to get into canning. We are going to pressure can some hamburger vegetable soup. So I've got everything set up over here. I'm going to turn around and show it to you and we're going to get into it. Okay, so these are the ingredients I'm using. You know how to make hamburger soup, I'm assuming. If you don't, you can try these ingredients or you can do your own seasoning. So I have a 5-pound bag of potatoes here. I've got 2 stalks of celery, 2 onions, garlic powder, onion powder, crushed red pepper, better than ham bouillon, 2 cans of diced tomatoes, a half a bag of the 3 pepper onion blend, seasoned salt, and 4 pounds of 93.7 ground beef. And we're also going to use some broth, which we're using out of the 93.7. We're using out of the better than ham bouillon. All right, these are what I'm using. We're going to get started in the process of cooking up the soup. All right, like I said, I have 4 pounds of ground beef. We're going to get it all down into the pan and we're going to get it cooked up and let it do its little thing. I'll bring you back. Alright, I'm going to get this all chopped up. Y'all, I'm doing my first day in the life, and this video I have a feeling that it's getting kind of lengthy. I hope it's not too much for y'all. So I'm going to try to keep the clips a little bit on the short side, like y'all know how to brown hamburger. So I'm going to click back on when the hamburger's done. Alright, as you can see, the hamburger's bubbling away here. It's about 3/4 of the way done. We're going to start adding our other ingredients. There's a little bit of liquid at the bottom. Some of that's broth. Some of it might be a little fat, but whatever it is, that's flavor, so I'm going to keep it. So now, let me see. Let me turn this light on for y'all. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start putting in the, what baby? It's right there, honey. We're going to start adding the ingredients. So the first thing, I've got 5 pounds of potatoes, 2 large onions, and 2 stalks of celery. I'm going to drop those right down in the bottom. I've got a bag of these they're kind of on the thin side, baby carrots. So I'm going to drop these down in. I like chunky. If you don't like chunky, you cut this up, your vegetables, the way you want to cut them, the way you like them. I like it chunky. Now this ingredient's going to kind of change the flavor a little bit, but I'm going to add it's half a bag of the Pick Sweet onion blend. I'm going to add about half of that because I don't want it to be overpowered with it. And I'm just using the swag method. You do you. I'm going to put some garlic powder. Get it all in there like that garlic now. Onion powder. I'm not going to go overdo that because I got onions in it. Seasoned salt. Now the seasoned salt is salty. Salt tends to cloud up your jars. I'm not adding any extra salt to it. That's up to you. If you don't want the clouded jars, don't use the seasoned salt. I'm just going to put a little bit of red pepper flakes in there because I like spicy. I'm also going to dump a whole bag of the vegetable soup blend vegetables. Scissors. Y'all, this day in the life thing's hard. Woo. It's whooping me. In those go. I'm using 2 cans of the diced tomatoes. I got one I need to open, so bear with me on the sound. I'm sorry about that. I don't want it too much tomato because I am adding ketchup. I like ketchup in mine. If you don't like ketchup, don't cook ketchup. You do you. That's the good thing about cooking. It's all about you and not what somebody else is doing. If it tastes good to you, then that's the way it should be. Doesn't matter what tastes good to other people outside the people that's going to be eating it. Outside the people that's going to eat it. And then I'm gonna add my ketchup. Let's see. This is approximately 1.5 cups. This is the no sugar added, but you can add whatever kind you like. Add that on down in there. Then the broth. This is made out of the Nor's bouillon. You add some more water. You still got some undissolved down at the bottom. Now your water mixtures, give me 1 second, I'll make sure you're okay. Your broth mixture is going to be all determined by how much broth you like in your soups. Alright, hold on. Okay, so while the soup's coming up to temperature, I'm going to show you the things that we're going to need to can this. So to start with, of course, you're going to need your jars. I have the 23-quart Presto canner. It holds 7-quart size jars. Of course, you're going to need rings and lids to fit your jars. Depending on your recipe and your preference, you're going to need canning salt. Y'all, don't use table salt. It must be canned pickling salt. Otherwise, your jars are going to turn out cloudy. Now, some of the seasonings that I put into my recipe, like the seasoned salt, it is what it is. You hear the word salt, it's because it's got salt in it. But I love that seasoning. So it's up to you whether you want your jars cloudy or clear, whatever, because it does have a significant amount of salt in it. So I'm going to omit the salt today. But if you're canning and you like salt, that's the kind of salt you're going to need. I also have some vinegar in a little bowl. I have a paper towel. Where it went, I have to get it another one. For wiping the rims of my bowl, you're going to need a funnel, a debubbler. Anything, don't use metal. You can use wood, plastic, whatever. I couldn't find the actual debubbler, so I'm going to use the end of this silicone spoon. And you're going to need a jar puller. And for filling your jars, if you're making soup, of course, you're going to need a ladle. So I'm going to bring you over here and then we're going to start getting our canner ready to go. Okay, so you never ever want to cook hot food in a cold canner, or cold hot food in a cold canner, or cold food in a hot canner. You don't want to shock your jars. So, and you never want to put it on the bottom of the canners. Always place something down there. If you don't have a rack, you can use towels. There's always something you can put at the bottom of your rack to separate the jars from the bottom. Alright, I'm going to start off, we're going to put just a splash or two of vinegar. That helps ensure that your jars don't cloud. It helps keep them nice and clean on the outside. Also, I'm going to add 3 quarts of hot water because I'm going to put hot liquid in hot jars into a hot canner. Alright, so I'm going to pour my hot liquid down in. As you can see. Ooh, sorry about the steam, y'all. Sorry about the steam. I got to add 1 more quart in there, and then that will be all ready to go. I'm going to put my burner onto medium heat just to keep it at temperature while the soup is coming up to temperature. Like I said, we're not cooking it. We're just bringing it up to temperature, helping the stuff get marinated a little bit. Alright, as you see, it's starting to come up to a slight little boil here. So now it's up to temperature. We're going to start filling the jars. Okay, now as chunky as you want it and as brothy as you want it. So you want to make sure you leave a 1-inch headspace in your jars, because always leave the 1-inch headspace. I'm a brothy type of person. I love a lot of broth in mine. So that's what I'm doing. So there we go. 1-inch headspace. There we go. Next one. You want to make sure you always, can y'all see that? Let me lower you. That's better. Alright, you want to make sure you always wipe the rims off. You don't want anything that's going to prevent a seal on your jar. You used to have to soak these lids and whatnot before you use them. You don't have to do that anymore. All right. So let's put this one on down in. Let's do another one. Since y'all couldn't see the last one. There we go. I'm making a big old mess over here, but it is what it is. Sure is. I'll just clean it up afterwards. This is going to be delicious. I already tasted the broth to make sure it's the way I like it. You can do the same if you like. And I can't wait to pull one of these off the shelf and have it ready to go. Because like I said, I'm a soupy person. Most of my family is not, but I, however, am. All right, let's get it all down in there. 1 inch headspace. And again, always, always, always wipe the rims of your jar. I use vinegar and water. Put your lid on. Fingertip tight. Don't wrench it on there. Only fingertip tight. And then down into the canner it goes. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of these done and I will bring you back. Okay guys, I forgot to tell you something. I had to go back to those 2 jars that I just put down into the canner. You have to debubble. Always, always, always debubble. So every jar, debubble, debubble, debubble. Otherwise, you're gonna have a mess all in your canner. All right, just wanna let you know. I'm gonna finish jarring the rest of these up. All right, got my 7 jars down in. I'll have another load to do. All right, so now the lid goes on. These are quart-sized jars. So if you're doing quart-size, excuse me, I always have trouble getting this stuff on. Lined up. If you're doing let me do it like this. If you're doing quart-sized jars, it's 90 minutes. At my altitude, it's 10 pounds of pressure. You need to check and make sure if what your altitude is to know what the pressure is you're supposed to be cooking with. Also, anytime you're doing meats, if it has any kind of meat in it, it's 90 minutes. And for pints, it's 75 minutes. So let me get this lid on and I'll bring you right back. All right, the lid is on. My pressure for my canner is 10 pounds of pressure. You need to Google and check what the pressure is for yours. When this comes up to a steady stream of steam, I'm going to set a 10-minute timer. So when it's straight and steady, set a 10-minute timer. I'll bring it back when it's time to set the timer. All right, it's been 10 minutes. So now I'm going to put my weight on. I'm going to bring this up to 10 pounds of pressure and I'm going to maintain it there by adjusting my heat. As I get about 7 pounds, I'm going to start lowering my heat. Lowering it until it's maintaining. Then I'm going to, after you reach the 10 pounds, don't start your timer now. It has to be at the 10 pounds. At the 10 pounds, I'm going to set a 90-minute timer. I will bring you back at the end of the 90 minutes. All right, guys, as you can see, the pressure is down to 0. I want to let y'all know these are heat-resistant gloves. I bought these to do my making my cups. I can't find my good. It's been a minute since I've done any pressure canning, but this is not the best. So I'm going to use my gloves. But now that it's down to 0, you can take off the weight and I'm going to open the pot. I'll bring you right back after I get you set up on the tripod. All right, as you can see, it's not so hot that I can't touch it. And that's the way you want it. You don't want to open this without it being cooled down to the touch. And the pressure down to 0. So let's go ahead and let's get the lid off of it. See what we got going on over here, y'all. Just tilt you down in, give you a looky look. There we go. So now let me get them out. See if I can get you where you can see. All right. Jar number 1. Can't wait to start hearing them pop. Because that's music to a canner's ear. When you start hearing ping, 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 ping. Yes. They look beautiful. These also have like little silicones, helps you get a grip. This is my first time using them for canning. I don't know that I mean I might, but not positive I'd make a habit at it. So let me show you what we got here. Get you on down here. And there we go, y'all. Just waiting to hear some pinging going on to let me know that they're all sealing up. But there I go. I got 6 jars, 6 quart-sized jars of delicious hamburger soup that could be on my shelf for 5-10 years, depending on how good the seal is. As long as that seal doesn't pop, the food is good. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Y'all, it's been a long time since I've canned. It's been since a couple of years. So I'm new back at it all. So like I said earlier, have some grace with me. Y'all try this hamburger soup out. You're gonna love it. Put some on your shelf and it'll be right at your fingertips. Y'all, I'll see y'all next time right back here at Linda's Prepper Kitchen. Hey, by the way, let me know if you like these day in the lives or you just like the quick and short videos that I always do. Also, I have an Amazon down below. I'll link it down below. And you can get all the products that I've used today. The canner, the Presto canner, 23 quart, the vacuum sealer, food saver vacuum sealer, all the things. So yeah, if you don't mind, please use my link. Sorry, I got family in the background. Y'all keep on keeping on. I'll see y'all next time right back at Linda's Prepper Kitchen.